What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about backdrops. I do two types of photography. I cater to commercial clients where we do ads, campaigns, editorials, stuff like that. And then we cater to consumers. We do portraits, family portraits, senior portraits, headshots, and all that fun stuff. Our portrait clients always have one question when they call us, and that is,
what types of backdrops do you guys have?
what I tell my clients is that if people are focused on the backdrop in your photo, it means they're not focused on you, and I didn't do my job as a photographer. A good backdrop should enhance your photo and not take away from the subject that you're trying to photograph. It's almost like a frame on a photo. People walk up and they go,
Wow, that's an amazing frame,
and they don't compliment the photo, it probably means the photo sucks.
right?
So when you get this question a lot, you tend to think, well, I need to have more backdrops. I need to get more variety. So today I want to talk about two different things. I want to talk about backdrops in general, and I want to talk about the systems that we use as photographers to hang backdrops. So many of us are familiar with this old thing, the old impact stand, and there's different types out there. You attach different lengths of this bar, and then this bar clips onto a stand, and then what you have is you have two more footprints of stands in your studio or in the small space that you're working. It works. It's not very efficient, and you could probably go 3 or 4 bars before this starts to sag in the middle. But it does have its setbacks. Again, the footprint's not good. You've got 3 legs sticking out on each stand, so 6 of them. You got to bring sandbags to hold it down, and it turns into a giant kite on location. In studio, it's not that practical as well because, again, you want to get rid of those footprints of stands just sitting around. If you photograph children, it's a good tripping hazard. We're all super familiar with the infamous system of gears and things and these weird plastic chains that always tangle. We didn't store this very well, so maybe this is a little bit over dramatic, but this system works really well. And what you do with this is you mount these 2 brackets on your wall, and then you have these different things that go into a paper background, the Savage backgrounds. They clip in, they tighten down, and then with the chain you can lower and raise these backdrops as you need. It works really good for the Savage backgrounds, not too good for backdrops that you don't have the giant cardboard tube for. So you're still left with some paper backdrops set up over here, and then maybe on a different spot you have some different canvas backdrops and stuff like that. So anyway, these cool, cheap, but not very practical when it comes to all backdrop types. Then there's the option that we did, which we created these 2 wooden brackets and we mounted them to the wall. And I'm just going to show you, take a look at this. So it's basically 2 wooden brackets. We mounted them to the wall, and what we use are clamps to clip our backdrops on. Now, we've got tons of these clamps around the studio. We clip them on everything. Some of our light stands have them up and down the light stand. We use them for different things, but mostly we use them for clipping backgrounds to different spots around the studio. And they're really helpful. These smaller ones are really good for wardrobe. You can clip them on the back of someone's clothing. I recommend smaller clips, maybe binder clips. Those work really, really well. The problem with these metal ones is they do come with these rubberized tips, but they fall off. And when they do fall off, what happens with this when it's clamped, when you're clamping your soft backdrops against something hard, it does tend to rip or cut it. And when you're investing money into backdrops and different things, you want to protect your investment, and these probably aren't the best solution for that in the long run. They are going to dent it, and they are going to hurt it. These, the plastic ones, are okay. They're pretty good. I've broken a couple of these, but these will be a little bit kinder to your backdrops when you're hanging them up. So now it leads me to my favorite solution that I just recently discovered at Imaging USA. You guys may have seen the video where I'm running around the PPA's Imaging USA showroom floor, checking out all the new stuff. Well, I stumbled upon this booth at the B&H booth, and it's a company called Click Prop Backdrops. And they have a system called the Magna system. And that is this bad boy right here. This looks a lot more intense than it really is. And basically, it's a really simple solution to a problem that we all have in the studio. And that's how do you quickly hang backdrops without having to hop up on a ladder and use a bunch of clamps and potentially ruin your backdrops. So what you do with this is you take these metal squares and you strategically, based on the instructions, you strategically place them on the wall. You mount them with some screws right here, and you mount them to your wall. Now your wall is a magnetic surface. And what this allows you to do is take these really heavy duty magnets and clip your backgrounds to the wall. Up and out of the way, low profile on the wall. It doesn't come like off the wall like our little weird makeshift backdrop stand on the wall. And it's really cool because if you put some down at the bottom of your backdrops as well, this will allow you to pull your backdrop taut and stick some magnets right on the bottoms of those. So the basic kit comes with 8 squares. They're such strong magnets. So the basic kit comes with 8 squares and 4 magnets, and this is more than enough for their system to work on your wall in your studio. And it's pretty unique too, which means that people are going to be congratulating you on a really cool idea that you didn't even come up with, but you should have, because it's such an easy idea. This is honestly one of those ideas that's like,
Duh. Why didn't I think about it?
and that's how you know it's a really good product. I'm pumped to get this into the studio, get working with this, and start featuring some new backdrops from Click Prop backdrops to my clients. Now, let me clean this up real quick. I'm not going to throw these because I really like these. So the second part I want to talk about is the backdrops themselves. Within the last few months, I've been bombarded with social media, Instagram ads for custom painted backdrops. And I have to admit, they're really, really, really nice and very tempting to buy. The issue is that they're pretty expensive because they're all hand painted. The plus side is that that is a unique backdrop and no one will ever have that. So it will help your portraits stand out a little bit. Then you have paper backgrounds. And paper backgrounds from Savage, I think Savage is the only company that makes them. Paper backdrops are really nice because it's a solid color. You can create a really nice little curved cyc wall. The downfall with paper backdrops is that they are paper and they do get dirty and they do wrinkle and they do crumple and they do rip. The other issue too is almost a hazard where if they are on a smooth surface, they do slide around a little bit. So you have to make sure you tape them down. I shoot with paper backdrops all the time. They work really well, they work really easy, and they are very, very inexpensive. And you can get a ton of variety of colors, but they're just paper, can't wipe them down. When something gets dirty, you gotta rip the bottom off and start over again, and eventually you run out. With that little system that I showed before, they last a little bit longer, but when you're traveling with them, they do indent. And then there's the Click Prop backdrops that this is how they come. So they come in this tube and they're printed on 450 GSM super heavyweight or heavy duty vinyl. They offer 9 different sizes. So it goes super wide to about this narrow, which is, this is 7 feet wide. The benefits of a vinyl backdrop is that you can wipe these down, they don't crease or wrinkle, and you can roll them up and store them in these and they will be great. Oh, I forgot to mention, one of the problems with paper backdrops, living in a very humid state like, I don't know, Florida, my longer backdrops, the 12-foot ones come and they're usually wrinkled. They have this weird wave in them. And I talked to the people at Savage Backdrops when I was at one of the conferences, and they said they have a lot of complaints about that in very humid states. So if you live in a swamp, these vinyl backdrops are probably a better solution. Now, these are going to cost you more up front, but quality is the best economy, and these are going to last much, much longer. If these do get dirt on them, you take a nice damp cloth, you wipe them down, and they're going to last. They also work really well with their magnet system that they use. They're not going to dent, they're not going to rip, and they're not going to tear. So every backdrop that you order comes with a carrying tube, and they have these little caps on the end that come off of here, and then your backdrop's protected on here. Now, I know why they printed these and rolled them the way that they rolled them with the design facing out. I would probably, after I use this, I'll probably roll it inward so that the print is protected and doesn't fade in the Florida sun or if it's left in my car. So I'll roll it that way. They come in 600 different designs. These are as non-reflective as vinyl backdrops can be. And what that means is you really don't want to hit them with direct light. You're going to want to feather some of it, and most lighting situations, these will do fine and you won't get any reflection. So you can order these backdrops from ClickProp Backdrops website or directly through B&H. They just added a large inventory of these different varieties, and again, 600 different backdrops. That's pretty awesome. The varieties out there, their graffiti ones that I saw are amazing, and I really want to get my hands on some of those and work with some of those graffiti ones, because those, the beauty of studio photography is you have complete control over your lighting. You don't get the natural lighting that you get outside, but what you also don't get is rain, wind, and all the elements like humidity and having models' hairs frizz out and everything like that. So take a look at ClickProp Backdrops. Keep an eye on this channel in the future, because we're going to go ahead and shoot a lot of our portraits moving forward with these guys once we get that Magnus system up. Anyway, thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to like the video, and yeah, tune in next time. I'm exhausted.